Hello everyone, once again we're going to be making a great recipe. Special shout out goes to Lisa for sharing this recipe with me. It's called chocolate peanut butter oat squares, and these ones you don't even need an oven for, so they're no bake, which makes them easy. They're deliciously smooth and tempting. Before we get started, here's a couple of great gift ideas, or maybe you want one for yourself. Both the Homemade Meals and Appetizers recipe book and The Crown of Purple are the first books in their series. And I have provided a quick link in the description below this video, and a quick peek at the back of the book that gives you a description of what the book's about. And thanks so much in advance. Alright, so let's get back to today's featured video. This recipe is so easy, you're gonna love it. You'll need to get together some brown sugar, light brown sugar, about 1/2 cup, and have it firmly packed. It's always good to have your ingredients pre-poured ahead of time. Alright, so let's start with the ingredient amounts. You'll need 1 cup of butter. Turn your heat on the stove onto about a medium high. I use a medium-sized pot so that you have room to stir. Add the butter to the pot and melt it. Once the butter has melted, turn the heat down a little bit. Add the 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. And 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. Stir that together. Now add 3 cups of quick cooking oats. Make sure your heat is on low and continue to stir this and cook it for about a minute or 2 longer. Stay right with it, stirring it constantly, making sure that it gets heated through. Now then, grease a 6x11 or 9x9 inch pan. Now dump about half of the oatmeal mixture into the prepared cake pan. And I use a spoon here to pat that mixture down and make sure that it's nice and firm and evenly distributed into the bottom of the pan. This will be the base to hold the square together. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. It's nice and firm, and so I'm going to go ahead now and prepare the middle layer. Take a medium-sized pot, place it on the stove, and you'll need about 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Turn your heat on to low, and slowly melt the chocolate chips. Once the chocolate chips have started to melt, and before they're fully melted, I add 1/2 cup of peanut butter, and I use the smooth peanut butter, not the crunchy. Add the 1/2 cup of peanut butter to the chocolate chips. They're starting to melt here a little bit, and like I said, keep your heat on very, very low. You want those to melt on the slow side, otherwise they will just cook and they'll turn really hard on you. You want the chocolate to be nice and smooth, so it needs to be done on the slow side. Once I add the peanut butter, I turn the heat off, but I stir it vigorously while I still have it over the almond, because there's enough heat still left on the stove even after it's turned off to do the trick, because you want it to continue to melt together and you want it smooth like this. It doesn't take very long to melt it. Simply take the melted chocolate and peanut butter mixture and pour it over the oatmeal base. And you might want to work rather quickly with this because you want the chocolate to remain melted and not to harden up before you get it spread out. And of course, spread it out till it's evenly distributed so that each square has some. Boy, this smells really good right now. Okay, so once we have that spread out nice and even like that, then we'll go ahead and we'll take the rest of the oatmeal mixture and we'll crumble it over the top. And you'll just crumble it in clumps like this because you're not going to be smoothing this out. You just want it to be rough texture like that. We want it to look like it has a crumbled effect, and it's okay for the middle layer to be showing through a little bit. Now to finish these off, we'll go ahead and melt about 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips again, and this time we're going to melt it on low just like we did before, but just the chocolate chips, and then we'll take that chocolate and sprinkle it over the top just like this. And you just want that to be a nice accent, so you just drizzle it over the top and don't make it too thick. Now the hardest part of all is waiting for these to be set enough to cut. So cover them with some plastic wrap and place them in the fridge until they're nice and set. Now that's going to take probably a couple of hours or more. because you don't want them to crumble when you go to take them out. You want to be able to cut them and they'll be nice, even, and smooth squares. Speaking of smooth, the chocolate and peanut butter mixture is silky smooth, and that paired with the oatmeal crumble mixture, it is quite the pair. They really do complement each other. If you wanted to make them up ahead and freeze them, they do freeze well. Having said that, they really are so good that I doubt very much that if anybody's around they'll ever make it to the freezer. You might have to double or triple the batch. Thanks for watching today's episode. Don't forget to click the like button. And until next time, happy eating!